as a patient. I'm a doctor, not a bricklayer.
How's it, guys? Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the last video. In this video I am going to be doing the B-deck windows. I've already started with that. We'll get over to what I've done in a second and see what I've done. There's more modifications when I realized. I thought the Britannic and Titanic's hull were almost identical except for the top half and the back piece, but the B deck is quite different. All the windows are different, but anyway, I'll show you now what I have done and what I'm using. To everybody that sent me some info, no, Trevor was one. He sent me a nice video. There was somebody else, I just can't remember the gentleman's name, his channel. Thanks for sending the stuff, appreciate it. Anyway guys, in a few seconds I'll be going over there, right here, the model, and we can start talking about what I've done so far. Be back now. Okay guys, as you can see over here, this whole deck here, all the windows have to fill in because none of them are the same. They're completely different. I have got a piece of paper which I'm quickly going to get. This paper is from the paper model which you can download. The length is slightly out, but it will be good enough for what I need. So what I'm doing is I'm lining up the front of the ship, if I can get it up high enough, lining up the ship here. That piece is the same width. Over here at the back it is slightly out, over here, but I can compensate for that. That's not a problem. It is more or less the correct size. Sorry about the movement. So I'll line that up like that, and then all these windows over here, none of them line up with their correspondence over there. The Titanic, for instance, from here to here had more windows than what the Britannic has. So even if I line this up nicely there, none of those windows line up with it, so I had to fill this all in. So this is what I'm going to be using for my template, to try get the windows as close to the right position as I can. What I'm going to do is here in front, this section here, is I'll make that gap slightly bigger. So when I put it in place and I mark these windows, I'll move that a little bit, then I'll mark those windows, then I'll move that a little bit, then I'll mark those windows until the rear end here lines up with the rear end here. So then that will line up nicely there. So anyway guys, that's what I'm planning on that. As you can see, all I did was take some grey plastic, mixed it with cement and let it become a gooey liquid. Then I smoothed it out. On the back over here, I just filled it with a piece of tape to try keep the backing from coming through. Now this is the first time I'm removing the tape, and let's see how it did. I can always put new tape on the back, that's not a problem. It went on pretty well, but there are some little gaps which I have to fill in, so I'll just take some more of that cement. Let's, like that maybe will work better. I don't know how well you can see inside there. Let's see if I can zoom in a bit. Keep my finger out the way. You can see there where all the windows were. They're all now filled in with plastic and cement. Now some of them I've just got to go in and fill up because they didn't fill up properly. But at least on this side I don't have to worry about too much sanding just on that side. You know what, I should have actually filled this from the inside and not from the outside. Oh well. If I ever do this again I can think. So that's the outside and that's the inside. Anyway guys, let me zoom out a bit here. Wrong place. So now what I've got to do, if I've got to sand all this nice and smooth, and wherever there's pits or holes or anything I've got to fill that. Then I will primer. Then I'll take this piece of paper, lay it down and mark off where each window is supposed to go. Once all that's done, then I can come and drill the holes out and cut each window out individually. It's going to be one hell of a job, but that's what I have to do in order to get this model done. Anyway guys, that's it for now. I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay guys, I've now done the windows, all the sanding, everything's done. I just want to explain what I did for anybody that's not quite sure. On the inside here I just used some tape. Zoom out. Just use some of this tape on the inside there. Maybe I should have done it on the outside. Then I would have only had to do sanding on the inside, but I did it on the inside instead of the outside. And as you can see there, close all those windows up. Then I took an old bottle of cement, threw pieces of sprue in this case I used grey sprue, threw modeling cement in so it can become all liquidy and runny. Then that I used fill in the windows, got a little bit higher than I needed, so when I sand it down it's nice and smooth, and when it dries, if there's a bit of shrinkage, it's not that indented. Once that was done, I just went over it again, then I sanded it again until it was nice and smooth on the inside and on the outside. Now these little windows at the bottom, I just got to go get all the muck out, and once that's done then I can prime it. Once I've primed it, that side I can then line this up like that and start marking off where all the windows have to go, and then I can drill and cut all the windows out. Anyway guys, when I come back I'm going to start priming the model, but first I just want to go through all of that and just get that last little bit of muck out and clean that up. So I'll be back now. Okay guys, this is a pretty big model, so I'm trying to get it in my full screen. Unfortunately I'm cutting the front of the ship off, or I can cut the back of the ship off, but I can't get it completely in frame. Anyway guys, I'm going to give it a coat of primer, and hopefully my cat doesn't smell it and jump out of the cupboard and go running for cover. There we go. And there goes my cat. Okay guys, that's it for now. Be back later, then we'll start doing the next part. See you now. Okay guys, I'm back. It's been quite a while since I worked on this model. I have done some hole drilling in between the last time I videoed and today. I'm not going to get into details right now what I've been up to. When the bloke brings what I've been working on back, I will show you. Basically I've been building a wood model. I can just show you the one little part I still have here which I'm working on. The lifeboat for this tall ship, and there's the compressor. So yeah, that's what I'm working on there. Explain it to you later on exactly what was going on there. So for now I'll just go talk about the Britannic, and then when I get that other ship back I will show you what it looks like and explain what's happening there. But that's for another part of this video. So I'm sorry I've taken so long, but unfortunately a little bit of crap happened. I just remember now I still got to fix that little hole there up. It moved and started drilling in the wrong place, so I just got to fill that hole up. But I have done a lot of hole drilling on both sides and all around the stern. So today I'm just going to give it some grey primer. Unfortunately in South Africa at the moment there was a total of 4 tins of primer anywhere in South Africa available to buy, and I bought 2 of them. So at the model shop, unless somebody's bought the last 2, there's only 2 at the model shop. I've got the other 2. Because apparently there is no primer available anywhere in South Africa at the moment. Trevor, I think he said he did order some primer, but I'm not sure what's happening with that. Anyway, the primer they gave to me to use, it's this one. Apparently this is not a problem to get hold of. They can get a lot of this, but they cannot get the rattle can. I still call it a spray tin, but anyway, everybody now calls it a rattle can. So rattle cans you can't get. They just don't exist anymore until Tamiya, not Tamiya. I know a lot of people call it Tamiya, I don't know why, but it's Tamiya, are going to start making some more. Anyway, I'm going to fill my brush up with some thinners and get ready. Thinners. I mean some primer, and then I'm going to quickly prime the top of the ship. But before I can do that, I have to fix this hole up here. Anyway guys, I'll be back now. Okay guys, I had some stuff to fix in that area. That's now all been done. Now I can give the model a coat of clear, and once that's done, then I can see if there's any problems I still have to fix up before I start painting on the white. So let's start. Okay guys, sorry about the compressor noise. I'll do a little bit of the priming on camera, and the rest I'll do off camera. Okay guys, that's all I'm going to do on camera for now. When I come back, the hull will be primed and we'll be ready to go on to the next stage. We're back now. Okay guys, I've glued the rudder back into place. It did come loose, but it's now back. Now we're going to start with the white paint. Now since the white goes from the top of the ship down to basically the water line, I'm not going to bother spraying the whole bottom as well white. That would just be a waste of paint. So I'm going to spray it up to over here. I'm going to basically just spray the whole side piece, not this piece over here, because that will be just, well, basically a waste of paint. Anyway guys, sorry for the compressor when it starts making its noise. We're going to now throw down a coat of white paint and start getting the ship to look the way it's supposed to. Now, I don't know if plain white is the correct color for the Britannic, or if it's a flat white. but I'm going with the same type of white as what the top of the Titanic would have been painted, which is just a plain plain white, and hopefully this will turn out looking good. Anyway, let me do some test painting over here to make sure it's spraying properly and it's not going funny, and then we can start on the ship. As usual, I'll only paint a little bit of the ship, otherwise it's going to take too long and I don't want you guys getting boring watching me paint, because it's already hitting 1 minute and 40 seconds. Let's start. Sorry about bumping the camera, guys. Okay guys, you can get an idea so far what it's going to look like. When she's done, I'll come back and show you. Be back now. Okay guys, now going to paint the bottom of the ship. Unfortunately there's no good indication of what it's supposed to be. The instructions say I must paint it flat terracotta, but instead of whole red, which is neither here or there. It doesn't give me a nice indication if that is the correct color or what. So I've decided I'm going to go with this. It's a brownish red color, so hopefully this will be the closest. But unfortunately there's nowhere I can find that gives me a good indication of what it should be. But when I did look at a photograph of the Titanic's propeller, there's a bit of colouring still left there, not very clear, but it looks very similar to this, so I decided to go with this colour, and hopefully it turns out alright. So let's quickly give her some paint. Okay guys, that's that for now. I'm gonna let that dry, then I can see what it looks like. Of course, it's a spray cans, or sorry, and as Americans call them, rattle cans, normally dry a lot faster than the other paint, so it shouldn't take too long to dry. And in a second I'll show you the other project I was busy with. The bloke dropped it off at my work today, so I've got that model back. Show you that in a second. Okay guys, this is the model I've been working on. I've got a light directly above it, so hopefully that's not washing it out too badly. As far as I know, it's a 17th century sailing ship. Still got a lot of work to do on her. The base is just a temporary stand. That's his father's plaque. He passed away recently. The ship was his. So yeah, this is what I've been doing a lot of work on. That's why I've taken a long time to get back to the Britannic. It's because I've been working on this baby over here. I got the hull basically finished, but there were some mistakes in front here and some other places, and the deck itself didn't look very nice, so I redid the deck, fixed up here, and everything else I've done, including the back piece here, which had to be still done. Very beautiful ship, a lot of photo etched parts on it. Unfortunately I can't get a very nice shot to the front. There we go. All this is all photo etched parts with the back, and of course that. Anyway guys, when I come back we'll be going on with the Britannic, and I'll show you some photos at the end of this video of me doing work on the ship and showing you all the little pieces. Anyway guys, that's it for now. Be back now. Okay guys, we're back to the ship. I've already taped it up. Now, as you can see, that line over there has to go green with 3 crosses in between, so that's where the cross will go, and that's the green line that goes across the bottom of the ship. I am going to paint this side on camera and then go to the other side, and once everything's done I'll then do the reveal of what the hull looks like. But basically you can see over here that reddish color is what I'm making the hull. I've got another thing on my computer which I'll show you now once I can take the camera off the base, and I will show you what it is. This program you can go buy on Steam about the Britannic. The company that created it is Titanic Honor and Glory. They are supposed to be Titanic experts, where they got all the information from on how the ship's supposed to be and how the Britannic was supposed to be built and all that. I'm not sure where they got it from, where they got plans from, or what they got, but these are now supposed to be the most accurate representations of the ships that they can be. They're also the ones that are responsible for the 1 to 200 scale Titanic from Trumpeter. How accurate they are, I don't know, but they claim to be the most accurate models ever built, and which you can ever buy. But anyway, that is a debate for a totally different day. Anyway guys, so oops, sorry about bumping the camera, and a test probe here, so sorry about the sound of the compressor, and let's get some paint on. Okay guys, and you can see the greens in place, but I'm starting to think it's a little bit too dark, so I'm going to spray the other side, but then I'll come back with a lighter green and paint over that. It looked fine in the bottle, but unfortunately it's starting to look a bit dark on the model. Anyway, I'll be back now. Okay guys, I used another green, but it's just as dark, so I decided to leave it at that color. Unfortunately the green I'm going to use I don't really have, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Anyway, as promised, I'm going to quickly take the camera off the stand. I was going to take all the tape off, but I decided now rather to leave it and see if I can get others. And there we go. As you can see, that is the program I'm talking about. You can see the ship. This is just a fly around view. You can actually go onto the ship. Those are the red crosses I still got to do, but that green line is what I've already done. And the nice thing is you can fly around it, you can look at it. So yeah, that's what the program looks like. As I said, you can get this program on Steam. I'm going to say quit. Just quickly got to grab and quit to menu, and there you can see the program's name right over there. So if you want to go download this on Steam, you can go buy it there. Anyway guys, that's it for now. Be back later. Thank you. Okay guys, as you can see, I'm now finished with the green. I discovered a light green actually works the best. But I made a huge mistake on that side. I forgot to put in the areas where the piece of junk, where the white stripes have got to go, as in that area, that area, and that area. I forgot to put them in. I forgot to mask it. And I think I'm going to have to do a little bit more touch-ups over there, because that curve over there, if you look at it, doesn't quite look right. So I think I have to do some fix-ups on that area there. But anyway guys, that's it for now. Be back now. Okay guys, I have completely masked the ship off in this thick masking tape to try to stop overspray, and then I've marked off the 6 crosses that's got to go onto the lower hull. Up on the topper hull there will also be some crosses, but those are completely separate from this part. As you can see, there's the first one, and there's one in the middle and one in the front. Hopefully my crosses look nice and straight when they finish, because it's not easy to mask off crosses. I don't feel like putting down decals, because then I've got to make. I have got some, but I don't think they will come out all that nice, so I decided rather to spray them. Anyway, sorry for the sound of the compressor. Once I'm finished with this, I'll let the ship dry, take everything off, and we can look at the hull after we've given it a clear coat. And then I can talk about a couple of things about the Britannic. So let's quickly get to these crosses, and then we can get to the next part later. Okay, here we go with the first cross. Second one. And now to the final cross. I just got to find it on the camera. Okay, I'm a little bit too far back. And there we go, the final one. And there we go, all 3 crosses on this side are done. Now I'm going to do the other side, but that I'll also do off camera. And the camera's decided to go on strike. Okay, there we go, it's back in focus. So I'm going to now do the other side of the ship. And once that's done, Then I'll let it dry and we can take a look at what it looks like and give it a clear coat. Okay guys, I'll be back now. Okay guys, I'm going to be at my computer screen while you're looking at the TV. This is a game which you can get from Steam on the Britannic. As you can see, the green and red cross with the brown red whole color, so that's why I went with a specific color. If you go onto Google, nobody can come to an agreement what the color exactly was. Some say it's more red, some say it's more brown, some say it's this. So there is no definite color of what it is. This game comes from Titanic. What's this company? The thing called Titanic Honor and Glory. The people that collaborated with the big 1:200 scale Titanic. As you can see, this is now what she's supposed to look like. My portals might not all be 100% in the right place, but I'm not going to fill every single portal up and re-drill that. There's just no way that's going to happen. So I'm going to give you a little tour of the outside of the ship. You can see there's the name Britannic in black, according to them. The masts were like not exactly yellowish type color. So we'll have to figure out exactly what color that is. And you can see the whole, that cross up here, that is actually lit. So when the enemy sees you at night, they can see the big red cross. That cross is also lit from this gadget here. Those are lights that shine down on it from that position there. Let's just go down a bit. You can see the green line going all the way to the back, where the final cross is. Same with the back mast, and then your big lifeboat divots. And as you can see, the color of the funnels. So Mr. BG, if you're watching this, your funnel colors were right. Somebody told you to paint it that other color. They were wrong with that. The funnels were the right color. This fourth funnel, Mr. BG said that he thinks it was a storage area. As I explained to him, it's actually a dummy funnel that's made for ventilation, that supplied the screw at the bottom of the ship in the boiler rooms with air. So that was nothing but an oversized air vent. And then, as I explained to him as well, these are lights. As you can see over there, you can see all the bulbs. So that would have been painted red with a lot of, I guess, red light bulbs or something in it. And that would shine at night red. If I can just get to the back. And there you can see where the power went into the back to light it all. This is a very nice little program if you want to try to get your ship as accurate as possible. You can see the extended deck that goes over here. Of course, Mr. BG wouldn't have been able to put that into his model because his model is just a little bit too small, but that whole section there is actually closed up. And then you've got a area over here, extra compartments, as you can see there. And then this little thing here at the back, that was the morgue. That's where all the bodies went. And then once again the ship's name and port of call at the bottom of the ship. Anyway guys, this goes from day to night. So I'm going to let it go back into night, and then I'll show you what the ship looks like in the dark. Now a lot of people might wonder why the ship would be lit up at night. The rules of engagement during World War One stated that a hospital ship was neutral territory and you could not sink her. If you sank her, you were in breach of the law, and afterwards you could be punished as war criminals. Excuse me. Anyway, I'm going to stop the video now, and I'll just let it become dark on the TV nighttime, and then you'll be able to see what the ship looks like at night. Be back now. Okay guys, as you can see over there, that section there is lit up. That's your main cross. The rear and front are not lit up. On the boat deck you've got one there and one further ahead. As you can see, that's lit up pretty brightly, and then of course all your portholes would be lit up. On your lifeboat davits there is some lights that shine down. Anyway, I'm going to quickly go over to my computer again, and then we can go in and look at all the different areas. So along the bottom of the A deck and the top of the B deck, you've got all these green lights that run across the top of the ship. That represents that green line which you see over there. Then at the top here, as I said, that's all lit. And in the front you can see that one is lit over there as well. And of course your port and starboard lights, which is green and red. There's the green one. And then as you can see here, that comes out and shines a big spotlight onto the red cross. So yeah guys, that's what the Britannic looks like. And there's a nice far view of her at night. There was something else I've been trying to think of, but I can't remember now what it was. I just can't remember. Anyway guys, that's what it looks like. As I said, the rear funnel, this one over here, is nothing but a ventilation shaft. The crosses do light up. The interior of the ship, that's what I was thinking of, but I couldn't remember. Now I've remembered. What happened was, when World War One broke out, the ship was still under construction, and they stopped working on her because after the Titanic sank, they took in the Olympic. Gave her a double hull, did a lot of work, so they stopped on the Britannic. Then they started construction on the Britannic again, and they did the same thing. They put in the double hull, extended the watertight bulkheads further up, and did a lot of modifications. So by the time they got finished with all that and they started to work on her again, World War One broke out and they stopped. Then the British Admiralty paid for the ship to be finished and took her in as a hospital ship. So the interior of the ship, the staircase and all that type of stuff, all the door handles and all that was never installed into the ship. That was still waiting to be installed. And after the World War One had finished and everything, they sold all that off at auction to regain some money. Then when the Olympic reached her end of life and they finally scrapped her, I think it was somewhere in the 1920s or 1940s, can't remember the exact date now, I think it was somewhere in the 1940s, she was sold, and then the person who bought her scrapped her to make money. All the interior was stripped out and that was also auctioned. So the Britannic and the Olympic interiors you could still see in certain buildings around England today. So if you found the right buildings and you could go into them, you could see parts of the Britannic and the Olympic that were used in the construction of those buildings. Anyway, that's it for now. When I come back, I'll be showing you what the ship looks like. We just got to quickly give it a clear coat, and then once that's dry, we'll take a look. Be back now. Well guys, I hope you're enjoying the build so far. I'm sorry that it's taken so long to get to this point because of the other sailing ship I'm building for I guess I could call him a customer. That's been taking a lot of time. This week I haven't touched his model, I've just been working a bit on the Britannic. And I'm pretty happy with her. She's not perfect. The portholes will not be in exactly the right place or anything, but I've got her as close as I can to looking right, so I'm happy with it. I'm not looking for an exact model of the ship. As close as I can get to perfect is good enough for me. Anyway, there we go. The hull itself is basically done. Everything is finished painting. All the lines and everything that's in place. I just double checked to see if the yellow line was running across here or not, like on Titanic, but there is no yellow line. It's just plain white, green and red, with the red brown anti-fouling paint, or I think it's called. This is now supposed to stop rust and barnacles and all that stuff from attaching itself to the hull. The special paint, apparently this paint still exists on the Titanic, and where that paint is on the Titanic there is no rust. The rest of the ship just had normal paint, and that's why the rest of the ship is now apparently rusting. Robert Ballard wanted to go and repaint the whole wreck with that paint to try stop the rust. Whether that would work or not, considering you can't paint the inside of the ship where the metal is already exposed and already rusting away from. So anyway, that's a totally different scenario, but I'm pretty happy with her so far. She's coming out pretty good. And next I'll be starting with the decks. The problem I've got with these portholes over here, these ones here, is when you put the deck in place they rut next to those holes. So portholes here and the deck is like that. So I'm going to have to try and make a hole through the deck into the inside of the hull to light up those windows, those portholes. Unfortunately, I'm not sure I'm going to do that, and I might not even light the ship up at all if I can't get that right, but that's another story for another day. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. You must go watch Mr. BG's little Britannic, little small egg Britannic. That's quite awesome. And you must also go and watch Allwood Modeling's tank which he built. Allwood Modeling Mayhem. His tank which he built is looking awesome. He's going to build another tank soon, a very old one, World War One type tank. Anyway, guys, if anybody knows what happened to Peter Plastic, can you leave a comment and tell me what's happened to him? I'd like to find out what happened to him. It would be nice to be able to see a video from him again, but I don't know what happened to him. He's just gone quiet and I'm not sure how to get hold of him. Anyway, guys, enjoy the rest of your week, and whatever you're doing, have fun doing it. Live long and prosperous and happy modeling. See you in the next video. Cheers.